I wanted to talk about Eric and Adam. They obviously are finally together in this season. What was it like to kind of have this like happy moment for Eric where he's no longer really like hiding who he is, especially with somebody else?
The relationship is very it's like bittersweet, isn't it? There's like two sides to that coin, and I think it's really I think it's I don't know whether they ever get their happy moment, because I think they're constantly still trying to figure out themselves and trying to figure out how to be themselves with each other. And they've had very, very different journeys and very different paths, like to this point where they're at now, and still they're at very different places in the like journeys of self-development and self-acceptance. And so it feels, I think, to play, it's really as an actor, it's really juicy. There's like a lot to get my teeth into. But also I guess it's also just interesting to have this story and to have this narrative, because it's a relationship of two people that really care about each other and have a connection with each other. But it hasn't came from the healthiest beginnings. It has been a toxic relationship up until this point, throughout season 2 as well. I think Eric was definitely stifling himself for the purpose of Adam's growth. And now that they're in this relationship and they're on an equal footing, you have friction there because of the fact that they're in such different spaces. And how do you, Eric can't hold someone's hand forever, and also Adam can't be constantly trying to say sorry forever. And so it's like there's friction for them both. And so it's, yeah, I mean, to answer your question, is as an actor, it's really fun to play that complexity. If I was Eric's dad, I think I'd have a few different words to say to him. How about that relationship?
Well, and that's, I mean, there was mixed response on Twitter with some people saying, this isn't right. Everybody wants Eric to be happy. What would you say to those people who are saying, who are almost opposing their relationship?
I would say that I can understand that, because he's been, he was bullied by by Adam for 6 years, and then he had a hate crime put against him in at the end of season 1, and then decided to start a romantic relationship with someone that did hate crimes to him every day. So I can completely understand the protectiveness towards him, because if Eric was Erica, you would not be encouraging him to get with somebody that's beat her up for 6 years.
So true.
However, what you wouldn't, but what you can't deny is that they have this connection, and what you can't deny is that Eric is a young man. He's over 10 years younger than me, and so when reading the script, I often have to put my mental space into the mental space of a 16-year-old. 16-year-olds don't make the best decisions for themselves, and especially if you're and not especially, but queer youth don't have like a blueprint for life as to how to kind of like move through life. And so he's trying to figure this out on his own. It's a really tricky journey for the pair of them. They don't know how to be, and they now don't know how to be with each other. What I would say, sorry, I'm not answering your question, I'm rambling. Eric goes back to Nigeria this year and he, I think, learns how to kind of incorporate a lot of elements of himself in terms of his religion and his race and his culture. And he's in a place where it's illegal to be gay. And yet in that space, he ends up being, he has a moment where he ends up being the most seen he's ever felt. Somebody says, like, I know the shoes that you're standing in. And I think he learns that he needs to find happiness within himself. And so for me, I would love Eric to find happiness within himself and strength within himself, and know that he doesn't have to reduce or shrink himself at any point for anyone else's growth.